A lot of automotive purchases are based strictly on practicality. Let's face it, most folks just need a simple, easy to drive vehicle, but this is not one of those. Meet the 2014 Toyota FJ Cruiser Trail Teams Ultimate Edition. Now this is the last special edition that Toyota is putting out before the FJ joins the great junkyard in the sky at the end of this year. But that's enough of me talking. Let's get out there and get her muddy. To make sure that you're ready to tackle the elements, the FJ Cruiser's 4-liter V6 puts out 260 horsepower and 271 pound-feet of torque. That power can be sent through either a 6-speed manual or a 5-speed automatic. Our FJ is an automatic model and it has a fully selectable transfer case, which means that you can run in 2-high, 4-high, or in low gearing. Fuel economy for the FJ is rated at 17 miles per gallon in the city, 20 miles per gallon on the highway, for a combined total of 18 miles per gallon. Pricing on the 2014 FJ starts at $28,540, but order a Trail Teams Ultimate Edition like we have here and the price will climb to $37,455. So what makes this Ultimate Edition so special anyways? Well, it starts with the suspension. Up front, it gets a pair of 66mm shock assemblies along with TRD race coil springs. Those raise up the front end a little bit and give this FJ a nice leveled off stance. Now out back there's a pair of 50mm shocks which both come with remote reservoirs to decrease damping fade. The Ultimate Edition also gets unique looks. It gets that heritage blue paint, black accents on the bumper and on the roof rack as well as the mirrors, and of course that white grille surround. Now I think the FJ Cruiser is one of the most unique vehicles on the road today, and when you put it together just like we have it in this Ultimate Edition, it looks rugged and it looks ready to tackle the trails. Now unlike some other so-called rugged vehicles, the FJ keeps its message consistent inside and out, and I'll tell you why. In here you get big rubber floor mats, you get plastic door sills, you get cloth seats, you get hard plastics everywhere, which most of the time I would complain about, but in this vehicle the message is clear and simple. Let's go have fun in the dirt. After I go out and get muddy, I don't feel bad jumping in this interior because I know that it's going to be an easy cleanup afterwards. Now granted, for a vehicle that costs almost $40,000, it is a little sparse in here. There's no touchscreen, there's no navigation, there isn't even a fuel economy readout. In terms of design, the interior is just as unique as the exterior. You get these big gear shift selectors which just feel nice and meaty in your hand, and of course you get these 3 gauges up on the dash which deliver all your vital information and again sort of set this FJ apart. When it comes to storage in this FJ, it's actually not bad. You get this center console bin down here, of course you get the glove box, and then you also get this cubby up here on the dashboard, which is actually really easy to reach. And if you gotta climb into the back seats, you have to deal with those annoying suicide doors, but once you get back there, things are actually not bad, and they're pretty hospitable, even for a full-size adult. So driving on-road with the FJ is when you really start to see some of the cracks. Now, the biggest thing and the first thing you'll notice is the visibility is bad. It has this small little windshield, the B-pillars are big, the rear windows are really small, and to top it off, the mirrors are actually quite small too. It's just a tough vehicle to see out of. Of course you can manage, but it makes highway driving a lot more tedious and a little more dangerous. Cornering in this FJ is also bad. You get quite a bit of body roll because of the height and because of the suspension setup, but it also just turns like a brick. If you have to do a U-turn, you better expect to be doing at least a 7-point turn, trust me. On the positive side, however, the engine does have good power, it gets you up to highway speed pretty quickly, and there is a nice backup camera that's hidden right inside the rear view mirror, so it does make reversing a little bit easier. Steering feel in here is actually pretty solid and it makes the vehicle feel planted, but overall the FJ just feels like a big lumbering giant. It doesn't like to turn, but let's face it, cruising on the asphalt is not what this vehicle was designed to do. This thing is all about getting dirty. So when it comes to leaving the road, this Ultimate Edition has all the off-road goodies. Of course, it has a proper transfer case so you can put it into low gear, but it also has Toyota's 8-track traction control system, along with crawl control, hill descent control, and a proper rear locking differential. Now, once you stick it in 4-low and you turn on that locking diff, you feel like this thing could crawl over a mountain. The torque is just great. This 4-liter has a really broad torque curve, so down low you get this really great pulling power. It also doesn't hurt that you get 9.6 inches of ground clearance, a 34-degree approach angle, and a 31-degree departure angle. And just in case you get a little too close to a rock on the trail, this Ultimate Edition is fit with a nice skid plate up front. Now, the grip is provided by BF Goodrich all-terrain tires, and they do a great job of hanging on. We've been crashing through the mud here today, and even caked in mud, the tread still finds a way to get down to the ground and pull this SUV up and over hills. Now, every single thing that we threw at this FJ today, it handled with ease. This vehicle was designed to be off-road, and that's exactly what it does best. So all I can say is good job, Toyota. This thing is a ton of fun, and I can crash around in the bush all day. So let's face it, this SUV isn't that practical, it's hard to see out of, and it turns like a battleship. So why would you want to buy one? Well, I can tell you that it has everything to do with soul. The unique style of the FJ just gives it so much charisma, and after a week with this vehicle, I found myself completely overlooking all of its faults and just falling in love with it. Now, on top of that, it's also a very capable off-road machine. So if you're willing and able to overlook all those little problems, I guarantee you that the FJ will return nothing but smiles.